Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Coe Show. My name is Mason Coe, here as always with my co-host Aaron Coe.
Howdy.
Today is Tuesday, November 30th, and football is over.
It is over.
Football is officially over.
But it's
Nothing
also-
else to watch.
It's also just beginning.
Yeah. Usually at this point of the season, it's where things would get exciting for us as
Yeah.
Husky and Seahawk fans.
Yeah.
But
What bowl game are we going to?
Yeah.
Are we gonna get the number 1 seed or are we
Yeah.
gonna slip down to the
Yeah.
number 6 seed?
yeah, so no bowl game, no playoffs unless some miracle happens. Russell Wilson is bad.
Yeah. I've seen him make a lot of bad decisions. I don't normally see him make a lot of bad throws. He's making bad throws right now. That finger ain't right.
He's doing both. He made there were some wide open
Oh.
receivers that he just completely
Could have tied
neglected.
the game at the end.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go to fucking Swain
yeah.
with DK breaking open in the back corner.
Mhm.
Like, what are you doing? Yeah, bad decision.
Yeah, on big plays too, like on third down, I think he missed Gerald Everett wide open in the middle of the field.
yeah.
He just hucked it up. DK's one target, just chucked it up in the air. DK
Yeah.
didn't really have a chance on that ball. Yeah, I mean, I guess do you want to keep talking about the Seahawks game, or do you want to start with UW?
I don't know.
All right, let's just keep going with the Seahawks.
Might as well.
Um,
Just get it over with.
Yeah, so I mean, if funny enough, if you look at Russ's stats, it actually doesn't look that bad. 20 for 31, 247, and 2 touchdowns. It's not terrible.
Wow.
He had eight yards per attempt. Weirdly enough.
He had a couple of big plays.
Yeah. Speaking of big plays, Tyler Lockett had that 55-yard reception, which resulted in a Gerald Everett touchdown. I think. Yeah, Gerald Everett touchdown. Freddie Swain, another one of the big plays. He had one catch. It was 32 yards and a touchdown though, right at the end of the game to, put us in that position for that last play we just discussed. But
I don't want to see that guy anymore. I know he caught that touchdown, but the defender fell down. He was open by 20 yards. That wasn't Freddie Swain.
The 2 plays he's had this year were one against the Colts when he was butt naked, and then he was butt naked this time too.
Yeah, I don't understand the fascination with that guy or why we're going to him in key situations. But yeah, they march down the field and you're like, hey, okay, Russ is looking pretty good. And then not really nothing after that until trying to pull another rabbit out at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's weird that his deep ball looks pretty good, but his intermediate stuff, like he's sailing it.
It's
he just
bad.
It has to be, he doesn't miss like that normally. Normally he doesn't see the receiver and get sacked instead of throwing it 20 yards over their head. So I'm going to chalk it up to the finger is still an issue.
Yeah, I agree. Do you have any other
Mm.
points from this game other than Russell Wilson? I mean, it was just such a shitty game. The play that swung the game and kept us in it was the extra point block for the return.
Yeah.
From Rasheem Green. He had the block, recovery, and return for the touchdown, which almost never happens.
Especially from a defensive lineman.
Yeah,
from
got
some
a
nice
defensive
blocks
lineman.
from guys early in the play.
Mm-hmm.
To help spring him. So
Yeah.
good heads up stuff there.
Yeah, and that takes it from 10-7 to 9-9 instead. So I mean, that was a huge play. If it weren't for that play, we wouldn't be in it until the last second there. Yeah. I mean, what else do you really have from this game?
Back to I'm just hating on Freddie Swain.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but the ball gets punched out of Alex Collins' hands, goes right to Freddie Swain, and he just Bill Buckner the damn thing.
Yeah.
And that really changed the momentum of the game. Bad fumble by Collins, but it was a nice play by the defender. But man, you had the ball right there, and you just let it go right through you, and game on after that. So I don't know where are we going with this football team. I mean, I'm beyond talking about the game. I don't really
I don't. Yeah,
It's hard to get too into it
I
now.
don't really even want to talk about this
Yeah.
game that much. I mean, Jamal Adams had a pick that he almost dropped. Yeah, I don't know. I think as far as the team, there's more football to be played. But if Russ doesn't look like Russ by the end of the season, I don't really see the value in keeping him as the quarterback because Russ has had to drag the Seahawks along for a while.
Yeah.
And if he can't do that, like if he's a quarterback, let's just say, Russ was on a team like the 49ers where everything is kind of right around Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Like he would thrive in that team, I bet. But on a team where he has to do a lot of the heavy lifting, I don't see the value in doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Unless the finger heals up and it looks better by the end of the year. But I don't want to try for another season if this is going to be it.
I sort of, I didn't divorce Russell Wilson last season, but we were on the rocks after his, these are the 4 teams I'd like to be traded to. I just like that. I went from, we have a great quarterback. I want him to, grow old in a Seahawks uniform.
Yeah.
To, what, the second he's not showing it anymore, let's try to find somebody else.
Me too.
I just don't,
yeah.
I don't care if he's in the Ring of Honor now. Like, none of that matters. After he said that, it just, he really needed to rework his relationship with me, and he didn't do that. So I'm ready to move on.
Yeah,
I think they won't get what they were gonna get a year ago, and that's okay.
That's fine. Yeah, I think I'm ready to move on too. I want to keep that relationship there because although right now it's painful and like 10 years if there's still beef between Russ and the Seahawks, it's gonna be really sad.
Yeah, I don't want that. I want a friendly divorce.
Friendly split, yeah.
Co-parenting.
Co-parent.
Good communication.
Yeah. But I think I'm ready to move on. Now the question is, what does that mean? Do you try to hit a big free agent, which almost never happens with quarterbacks? So then it's just draft. But do you try to be the Patriots and kind of keep the ship kind of floating and maybe risk having a mid first round pick, especially because we have no picks at all ever. Obviously you would hope to get some of those back with trading Russ. And then if we're trading Russ, then why don't we trade Bobby Wagner?
I don't want to do that. I'm not gonna do that unless he really wants it. He's a guy we're still together. We're still happy.
No, I love him too, but
I want him as long as he can play. And you wouldn't get a lot for him. I mean, he's still a great player, but you're not going to get a lot for an aging linebacker. So it's just not like I'm not trading him for a third or fourth round.
Yeah,
pick.
I wouldn't do that either. I was thinking
more. You're not getting more than that, probably.
Yeah. I don't know though. And then, after that, there comes more questions. Is DK Metcalf going to want to re-sign if we're fucking terrible? No. If we don't have a quarterback? No, he won't want to re-sign. So
I don't know. Here's the thing about DK. I like DK. I'm not, like, if you have to pay him, top of the market money, I'm out. He's just not that good. He's a physical freak. I want him on my team, don't get me wrong, but I'm not paying him $20 million a year or whatever he might command. I'm just
I wouldn't pay him 20.
I mean 14 maybe, something like that.
What's top? What even is
I
top
don't
wide
know.
receiver money?
I don't know.
Top earning NFL wide receivers. Let's see.
And I know a lot of people are gonna blame Pete, blame the OC. But, he doesn't have elite hands. He can run some routes, but he's not an elite route runner either. Mm-hmm. And maybe he'll get better. The hands are not going to get better. The hands are what they are. He's going to drop passes. He's not going to go up and pick a ball out of the air like some of the elite guys do. He's gonna play He's gonna play like a 6 foot receiver. But instead of a 6'4" receiver.
Do you think like he can develop into that? Like he's
No.
Really?
Route running, maybe.
You don't think he can start to?
I don't think hands get better. I just
Well,
I
no,
don't think they do.
with like yeah. So the hands, I think like drop. He'll always have some drops, but just playing more aggressively. Like, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, some of that could come.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'm not shitting on him. I want him on the team, but if he's going to command to, be like the top paid receiver in the league.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay. No,
he's not that kind of guy.
no. I think this is PFF. I don't know. I don't know. This isn't ranked for the average annual value. It's like total value or whatever. But it looks like the top 5 receivers are sitting around 20.
Yeah.
Like 18 to 22 million, and I think, yeah, I don't know.
So
I
in
don't
a
know
year,
about
if he says I want to be the highest paid receiver, we're talking
like 23, 24.
5 years, $120 million or whatever.
Yeah. And I wouldn't do that. I
no.
agree. I'm with you there. I wouldn't do that.
So anyway, there are bigger issues too. Like the offensive line is just getting worked.
Yeah.
They draft D. Eskridge, who they hardly use. There's a center, I can't remember his name, that a lot of us wanted, that looks like he's going to be a freaking annual, all pro type guy that they just passed on. There were other centers too. And we just can never get that position right. Ever since they traded for
Sweezy.
No,
or traded for Graham.
Traded
or
for
not
Graham.
Sweezy. It was
they traded for Graham.
Yeah.
I can't remember
Jesus
his name.
Christ, not
He's
J.R.
retired
Sweezy,
now.
yeah.
But the Oregon guy, I forget his name. But anyway, so
Max Unger.
Yeah. So I'm not okay. I'm not a tear it down to the studs kind of person.
I'm not either. I don't think it works for football.
I don't either. I think it okay, you're gonna try to get the number 1 overall pick. Okay,
We don't even have our first round pick.
Who does that even? Yeah, I'm talking more like next
year
or the year after. Like those don't always pan out. It's not like LeBron is in the. You know what I mean? It's not. There's no sure thing ever in the NFL like that.
No.
So anyway,
What picks do we have? Like,
it's bad this year.
I know it's bad this year.
I don't remember.
What about the next year though?
I think then we have most of our picks again.
Okay. Oh, I thought it was worse than that. Okay. I thought we didn't have our first round pick next year either, but maybe it's because we didn't have one this last year.
Yeah, so we won't have it for this upcoming draft, but the year after, I
we
believe
didn't.
we do.
Did we have a first round pick this year?
No.
No, so that's what I was. Yeah. That's what I was confused about.
Yeah.
So directionally, I'm kind of with you. I don't think tear it down all the way. Now, I think kind of the strategy moving forward is very dependent on what's going on with Pete and John. Obviously, if Pete's staying, then they're gonna try to pick it right back up and keep going probably.
Yeah.
If they go, then I hope they don't tear it all the way down, but there's definitely going to be some sort of rebuild, I feel, if those two are gone, either of them.
I mean, I'm for a mini at this point, first of all, I'm a much bigger Pete supporter than most people in this city, especially the 12 since 12 crowd.
Yeah.
They think, you should just go to the Super Bowl every year, and if you don't do that, then the coach is terrible and should be fired. Like, we would have a new coach every year.
Yeah.
But that being said, I'm just not seeing it with him. I hope they find a way to make it amicable, and maybe he just says he's retiring or whatever.
Yeah.
I do know that he met with Jody Allen, a couple weeks ago.
Okay, so she's alive.
Yeah. They said it was like a typical normal meeting, but I've never heard
How
of those
often
before.
do those happen? Yeah, how often those happen? What is discussed during those very normal meetings? Yeah.
And then, the next game he walks out of the post-game press conference. So he's feeling pressure from whether it's internal, I don't know, but so she has the money to do what she wants.
Yes.
So she can eat his contract if necessary. So I think it's time.
Yeah, I think, and also I don't want to try to retool this team with Pete Carroll. Like
No.
if Pete's gonna be here, I want Russ to also be here, but I don't want either of them. So
Yeah. I would like to see what John Schneider could do.
yes.
And I don't know. This is the thing. Was the Jamal trade, was that him or was it Pete?
I think that was
I
Pete.
think it was.
I really think it was Pete.
But nobody knows because they're so good at.
Yeah.
They don't throw each other under the bus.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just gonna operate under the assumption that was Pete.
Yeah.
Pretty much, again, maybe this is, and maybe that's bullshit because this is the way I think. Like, I assume Rashad Penny and LJ Collier were both Pete as well.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? But I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So maybe I'm full of shit. I don't know.
There's no way to know.
Yeah.
If I were Jody Allen, I would say, okay. Which picks were you? Okay. So we're assuming we're trading Russ and that Pete's gone. For Schneider, I want to say what did you do and what did Pete do here?
Yeah. Yeah, what percent of each pick was you in each trade?
If he did, first of all, every GM makes stupid picks.
Yes.
Like that ain't, I want to know like what percentage of the really stupid things were yours and which ones were Pete. If they were his, then I want him gone too.
Yeah.
If not, I would like to see what he could build. I think he wanted to. I mean, they were looking at Josh Allen. Which I was like, why would you want that guy? Because we were idiots. But they were really looking at him. So maybe he can find another quarterback.
Maybe.
That's been my biggest fear in all this is I don't want to go through a decade of shitty quarterbacks.
It's
like
horrendous.
Seahawks in the 90s, Browns still probably.
Yeah, I could imagine.
So I would like to see if he could build something, not tear it all the way down, but get rid of some of the fat and then see if he can build it back in a year or two.
So there's a distinct like switch in the Seahawks drafting really fucking good and then like really bad.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a symptom of one of Pete or John taking more control?
I don't know.
I don't know either. That's the problem. I think what they do is they always disagree and then they go with the third option that neither of them wanted.
Yeah.
And then they just pick something shitty.
One thing that I definitely think happened is I think they were, and this was Pete, but they targeted long players. So not as much, how fast they are, but are they long?
Yeah, wingspan and
that
height. And
that led, but then everybody started doing that.
Yeah.
So now you can't get Richard Sherman in the 5th round.
Right. Yeah.
Makes
sense. Yeah.
A guy like him goes early in the draft because everyone is like, oh shit, that worked. Let's do that. It's a copycat league. So, I don't know. I still think John knows what he's doing. So I would probably look at keeping him and just give him more power.
Yeah.
And let him hire the coach.
Yeah. Yeah. I think.
I don't know.
I think Jody Allen's best move is to just kind of hand. I mean, I get maybe she's extremely knowledgeable in football.
I have no, yeah.
But typically, the best owners don't say shit at all. Like they just hand off the money and go. So I think John has displayed the most, I guess, like the best control. I feel so. Let's just hand the power off to John Schneider and see what he can do.
Yeah.
You got anything else regarding this game or this shitty fucking season?
No, it just sucks. It's just it's just disappointing.
Yes.
I thought they would compete. I didn't think they were a Super Bowl contender necessarily, but I thought that they could. I thought they would be in the mix, and then once you're in the mix, then you always have a shot.
Yeah.
But to just have them. Again, they weren't mathematically eliminated a couple of weeks ago, but you're just looking at it going, how I don't see
7 in a row.
the offensive line can't block. Like there's just, there's too many issues.
Yeah.
The ship is sinking, and
I like how
we can't plug all the holes right now.
DK Metcalf tweeted, like we had to win 7 in a row going into this week. He just tweeted 7 in a row, and he got 1 target last night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of disappointing, 40-13, Cougars
man.
over the Huskies.
That was tough.
Yeah, tough one to watch. We skedaddled right after the Sam Heward pick six. Speaking of Sam Heward, 17 for 31, 190 yards, touchdown, 4 picks. Do you want to guess what his QBR was?
No, like 7.
5.3. Yeah. So you were close.
You know, I don't want to completely go into the depths of what happened this year, but as far as Sam Heward goes, completely mismanaged him.
Yeah.
Whether he should have played, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to know.
Yeah.
But, they bring him in for one pass in one game and, a series where he throws a pass or two.
Mm-hmm. Keep bringing him in when he's pinned behind his own 5-yard line.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's like this is the only snaps he's getting.
So I wish they would have not wasted, because you get 4 starts to maintain your red shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wish that they would have eliminated one of those stupid things where he came in and handed the ball off over and over again.
Yeah.
And I wish he could have started at Colorado and at Wazoo.
Bingo, yes.
And maybe even before that.
Uh-huh.
But I also, as I've said before, red shirts, I'm never worried about red shirts. Guys go to the NFL or they transfer.
Mm-hmm.
If they play out their whole career, they probably aren't. They're probably an average player.
Yeah, Spencer Rattler, quarterback that I don't like just because I've heard and seen things I don't like from him. He just entered the transfer portal. He got replaced by Caleb Williams, a freshman. He said, "Fuck that noise. I'm just gonna transfer." I was on Netflix in high school. I won a QB competition on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I agree though. Point is, red shirts don't matter because you're
Yeah.
either too good and you'll leave, like to go to the league, or you want to leave to another school. So,
but as far as I don't have a huge issue with what he did in the Apple Cup. Yes, it was bad.
yeah.
But you threw him his first significant playing time really comes in a rivalry game when your coaches are gone and half the team at least has quit.
Oh yeah, and I think that's like as far as disappointing thing goes. I think both of us and I think most Husky fans would agree the disappointment really goes almost everywhere except Sam Heward.
Yeah,
like you said, he played poorly, but I don't like. That's just that game is such a wash for him. Like from him, that game is such a wash for me. Like I'm not gonna take any stock into it. Obviously, it makes me like a little less like excited to see him come out and throw the ball next year. But I'm still very hopeful. For him.
I feel like I learned nothing. I saw some things I liked. I liked how he stepped up in the pocket. He seemed to have a good sense of the rush.
Mm-hmm. Threw some good deep balls.
He's got a nice touch on the deep ball, which we saw in spring.
Yeah. 2 of his picks, one of them the receiver fell down, and one of them got tipped by his own receiver. I think. So, yeah.
So I'm neutral on his game. I'm very disappointed with how his season was managed.
Yeah. I will say the picks they were just at horrendous times. Like,
it's like we got some momentum.
Yeah.
Just so much for that.
The worst. Like they were during moments where it would happen, and me and you just sat there in silence, like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like really, right now?
What'd you think of Cougs storming the field, planting the flag?
I talked some shit to some Coug fans about that. I think it's pretty funny. It's it's cute. But I mean I don't know. It looked fun, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, enjoy yourselves.
Yeah.
We'll see you next year.
Yeah. Congrats on being the 4-8 team. But yeah.
Yeah, I would be pretty embarrassed if my fans stormed the field after beating a 4-8 team, but
it's the difference between the schools, you know?
And if we're gonna drop one, and hey, this was the year to do it because who cares? It didn't mean anything.
Lowbro's gotta get one.
Yeah, so let him enjoy it, Cougs. Like celebrate it, make fun of us, do what you got to do to get it all out now. and then we'll just see. We'll
just see. Yeah, and I was talking to you. The first time I thought about this, really, I was looking for a beer line to get any beer possible. Oh God, by the way, they sold out of beer thanks to Coug fans.
Yeah, the Cougs can bring it.
Yeah. I guess there was like some theory that they put that out to try to make Coug fans look bad, but I can say the beer lines they looked like halftime at all times. But anyway,
Cougs are pros though, man. When it comes, I mean, you gotta hand it to them. I mean, they know when to leave the game. Like, you leave the game at the most important time to go get your beer.
Yes.
Because the line's going to be shorter.
Yeah.
The rest of us are like, oh, let's wait till this offensive drive ends. And then you go out. Now everybody's done the same thing. The Cougs are like, no, I know when to hit the beer line. when the best part of the game, that's when you go hit the beer line.
Absolutely.
I got some stuff to learn. I took some notes. And I'm gonna come back a better fan next year for it.
Good.
Yeah.
I was going to get beer, and I thought this was the year to lose. It literally didn't mean anything as far as like the future of the season, unless Oregon State would have won. Then it would have meant something for the Cougars. From the Huskies' perspective, losing this game means nothing. You weren't in a bowl game. There was nothing on the line.
And I want to win every game. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Before the game, I wanted to win the game.
I was thinking like, if
you're not gonna win them all.
No, I was thinking like, if you give me, the options, like, you just put them out in front of me. Any of the Apple Cups from the last, let's just say, 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, I would have picked this one 100 times out of 100.
It would have been devastating to lose any of the Peterson ones.
Like, very, heartbreaking.
We would have been knocked out of, New Year's Bowls.
Or the playoffs. The college football playoffs.
2016 knocked out of the play. Like, those would have been crushing. Yeah. I feel it for a week.
Yeah. And I would be uncomfortable talking about it right now.
No, I wouldn't. I don't think I'd be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can talk about this game already. I mean, we both predicted them to lose, the Huskies.
Yeah.
So, not 40-13.
No.
And then the one thing I want you to talk about, because this is a big, this seems like a good old man speech opportunity, but talk about the players quitting.
Yeah, and it's predictable.
Yeah.
And it happened. I've seen it in Apple Cups before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny because the first two plays, they stuff Wazoo on the run. And I'm like, hey, we've come to play.
After those two plays, I was like, oh, fuck, we're going to.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then they quit.
And then they quit. Yeah.
No, it's not surprising. I mean, I went to the Snow Bowl in 1992. The Huskies had already clinched the Rose Bowl, but they weren't in the national title picture. That game meant a lot to the Cougs and nothing to UW. The Cougs killed us.
Yeah.
It was the worst. It snowed. It was I was miserable. That's the worst. I haven't been back to Pullman since. I'll go someday, but I haven't been back since. No, it's I think the emotions of college football players are very hard to predict.
Mm-hmm.
The NFLs, you don't see the emotional swings quite as much because they're pros.
There's a job.
There's a reason they're in the NFL and have stayed in the NFL because they can overcome that.
Yeah.
But college athletes, you don't know. Or is it like, hey, we're gonna knock them out of the potential almost maybe Pac-12 championship game?
Yeah. Like, are they gonna be motivated by spoiling Wazoo's season?
It would have been better if Oregon Oregon had already if Oregon State had beaten Oregon, which didn't happen,
and it happened
before. Then maybe the Huskies are like, fuck that.
Yeah,
we're not letting them in.
Exactly.
But I mean, dude, it's been a disaster all year.
See, that's the difference between the Snow Bowl and this one is the whole seat. Like they want to take off their pads and turn them in for the last time. The Snow Bowl, it's kind of a different quit. It's like, I don't want to get injured and this game doesn't really matter, so I'm not going to go 100%.
Do you think they watched what they ate during Thanksgiving? You know, like, oh, I've got a game Saturday. I shouldn't eat too much.
No, exactly. Yeah,
you know,
it's like
fuck it, man.
Yeah, like this whole season was fucked. So there was no, even like leading up into this week, like, I'm guessing the workouts weren't going as hard in the workouts for the last 2 weeks, probably. You know what I mean?
And I would love to sit here and say, hey, play for the uniform, play for pride,
it's not
play
realistic.
for the history. But I just think with college kids, it's kind of ridiculous to. I want that,
mm-hmm.
and I think I might do that.
Mm-hmm. You know what the difference is?
Yeah.
Like, for example, I grew up a huge Husky fan. So if I played football at UW, it would be like, I've been attached to this for so long, blah, 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 whatever. Like, I went to San Diego State, though. If I were to play football there, I would not care as much about the history and stuff.
You wouldn't want to, win the old oil can?
I mean, of course I would. Of course I would, and it would feel good. And I would get in on it because everyone else is excited. But the old oil can it would never mean as much to me as the Apple Cup.
Yeah.
Unless I played at San Diego State or went to San Diego State and then was a fan for 30 more years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just so unrealistic to ask a kid who's been in Seattle for, in some cases, like 9 months
during a fucking pandemic.
You
can't even
exactly. Like there's just so much other shit. Like it is unrealistic, but it would be nice to have them have some pride.
Yeah, it would have been. Like I said, I kind of figured this is the way it was gonna go. So, yeah. But we do have a new football coach.
Yeah, Mr. DeBoer. So basically, my whole take is the exact same as your whole take because I don't have strong takes when it comes to especially college football coaches. Matt Campbell was supposed to be the splashy hire. They offered him $7 million. And he declined. He doesn't have a job yet, right?
He doesn't. I wonder, man. So first of all, it's crazy what's going on. So yeah. So let's kind of go back a little bit. So you have openings that we knew of at the time. LSU, right, and USC was open. What else? There's
there's Penn State and Michigan State, but those guys re-signed.
Right.
And then Florida is Florida's still
a
open?
big one. Yeah. And there are a few other jobs too, but those are the biggies. So. The USC signing of
Lincoln Riley.
Shocking.
Straight, just plucking him straight from Oklahoma.
USC finally getting off their ass and
seriously
deciding to play college football.
We were like, we're not going to be able to get Matt Campbell because USC is going to get him.
Yeah.
And then USC took the number 2 coach in college number 3 coach in college football right now behind Saban and Kirby Smart maybe. I mean he's top 5 for sure, but just crazy and a little scary. So we were theorizing, did he run from the competition? Was that what happened? Did he run from the SEC?
I think there's some of that. I think he didn't like the uncertainty of going over there. And we said this back when we heard that Texas and Oklahoma were going to the SEC, we said this at the time, right? That and Lincoln Riley just told us that he agrees with us. Okay, Oklahoma and Texas, you're going to go to the SEC and be like the number 5 and 6
have fun.
teams. You're gonna go totally head to head in recruiting with those guys.
Yeah,
they're gonna come to your stadium when you're hosting recruits, and they're gonna beat you. And the recruits are going to say, holy shit, okay, yeah, I think I'd want to play for Alabama.
Hey, you know what's awesome about playing for Alabama? I get to come home and see Mom in Texas once a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, you're fucked. Yeah. You're fucked.
Yeah. So I think he saw that. I think he saw that at Oklahoma, maybe I can get close, but I'm never going to truly win a title. So USC, Pete Carroll brought them back, and he was like their 4th choice, by the way. People say, oh, they hired Big Ben. No, Pete Carroll was nobody when they hired him. I looked at them like, Pete Carroll?
He just came off a failed NFL career.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm like, really? That's where you're going with this? And obviously he was amazing there. but they've been fucking around. That was an accident.
Yeah, they were fucking around then too. Yeah.
I mean, the recruits that they have in that area are
it's so
ridiculous.
dumb. It's so dumb.
To not be a national power is absurd.
And it, like, I'm pissed at them for not being a national power because the whole, like, pack is whack shit. Like, you know, like, if USC was actually good at football, there would be more conversations just about the Pac-12 in general.
Right.
And, you know, it's not fun when USC is good, but it's kind of necessary for
it really is
for UW, honestly. At least the way the playoffs are formatted right now. So yeah, what do you think of the hire though? So yeah, Matt Campbell, we thought we're gonna lose him to USC. Yeah. He still is not jobless, but currently unsigned. Oklahoma wide open now. Who knows about that job?
Yeah, they got blindsided.
They got blindsided. Yeah, so I mean that's. But I was just about to say that's one of the top jobs, but is it though? Now that Lincoln Riley ran from it, and
it still is.
Yeah.
So, to me, there are tiers of college football, right, within the Power 5. Mm-hmm. Okay, and some people would say that Oklahoma is on the top tier and UW is on the second tier. I believe. Well, actually, I would put Oklahoma there still, but I believe UW is in a third tier. You have, like, the 4 teams that go to the playoffs every year, one of which was Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. And then you have the USCs and the Oregons are tier 2. Mm-hmm. And then schools like Washington. Washington should be a team that's, like, in the top 25 most years, and once in a while, you know, puts it all together and has a great year.
Like when Baylor and TCU were battling it out in like the first year of the playoffs to get in.
Yeah.
Like Baylor, Michigan State.
Yeah.
Just weird.
Those are kind of third tier. Yeah. You know, Ohio State is top tier.
Yes.
Like, you know, LSU, first or second tier, somewhere in there.
Florida State used to be top tier. Yeah. Now they're not.
Now they're probably third tier.
Probably third tier, yeah.
So if you're Washington and you're trying to hire a coach, you're not going to get Lincoln Riley because USC should be a top tier team.
Yes.
So now you're kind of battling it out with all these other people, and my guess, I was disappointed that we didn't get Campbell. He was my guy. I don't know if our AD knows what she's doing or not, but I felt like she should have just done whatever the fuck she needed to do to get him here. So, I don't know what his reasons are for staying.
I was gonna ask, like, obviously there's fine details about contracts and shit, but like, are you okay with the offer? Like $7 million, I don't know. It's a lot of money. I don't know how much is normal.
I mean, I would say okay, how about 8? How about 9?
Yeah, fair enough.
You know,
yeah.
I would, I mean, you can't go totally crazy, but
right.
Lincoln Riley's making at over 10 at USC. I don't know the exact numbers. So anyway, it sounds to me like they said, "Hey, Matt, here's our offer. You have till 11. We need to know by 11 a.m. tomorrow," which is what I heard. So we need to know 11 a.m. Monday, and then it sounds to me like, dude, I was listening to these chats on Twitter.
I saw you in Twitter Spaces one time. I was like, what the fuck is my dad doing in Twitter Spaces?
There are people fucking tracking flights.
You're on the flight trackers.
yeah. And there's a flight to Fresno.
Oh, boy.
Private jet, Boeing Field to, so I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, is that the backup plan or is that, So I think they basically told Campbell, look, man, we really want you, but if you're not coming, we got to know now.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to get caught up in the second round. Now Notre Dame's looking for a coach.
Kelly
Brian went
Kelly.
to LSU.
That's right, yeah.
You're not going to win that one.
Forgot. Mm-hmm.
So I think they wanted to make a quick move with him, and then they ended up, going with DeBoer. And, dude, I don't know. Your thoughts?
I mean, I'm never gonna express confidence in a new coaching hire ever again in my life after what Jimmy Lake did to me. I'm serious. Like he damaged me as far as like coaching hires. Like but yeah, I mean, he's done a good job at Fresno. They've been a very good program. They I wish we could take Jay Kaner back too.
Yeah.
We'll see. Like just like you said this to me a few days, when it happened. Ask me in 3 years. That's really the vibe right now. Is there a possibility of Tedford? Have we?
That's still out there. That
Okay.
So Ted. By the way, I'm hearing that Chris Peterson and Tedford were advising Jen Cohen through this process, which is a very good thing.
Okay. By the way,
Tedford's like, yeah, I know a guy.
Yeah.
And Pete's like, Coach Pete's like, yeah, sounds good.
He knows the guy. Yeah. So by the way, Tedford, he was the head coach at Fresno.
Yeah.
And then he led them. He had a great offense there.
Yeah.
It was DeBoer took over that program from him, and now he wants to get back into coaching though, is what he's saying.
So Tedford, he was at Cal, and it's fucking really hard to win at Cal.
Yeah, I forget it's a school.
He had Marshawn Lynch. And,
that's right. Goff, was he there with Goff?
Goff was after.
That after? Okay.
Yeah. And they also had Deshaun Jackson. They had some boys back then. But so he, that kind of eventually went downhill. Then he was the Chris Peterson, unlike Jimmy Lake, is like, hey, I'm a pretty good coach, but I could bring Tedford in as an advisor.
Yeah.
So that's what he did for a season, and then he went to Fresno, and then I think he left he was having some health issues. I'm not sure what those were.
Urban Meyer health issues or actual health issues?
I think there was something real there.
Okay.
So it sounds like he might come as either potentially an OC or like back in that advisor role.
Either way would be great. Obviously, he's the only OC that we could hire that I've heard of. So you know what I mean? Like I will not have heard of whatever OC we hire. So
I don't know, man. I mean, is this guy gonna work out? Like, he's won everywhere he's been, but he hasn't been a whole lot of places.
Yeah.
By the way, he was dominant at Sioux Falls University, and you probably don't even know, but a Sioux Falls University Hall of Famer.
Is that Bob Booth?
It's Bob Booth.
Bob Booth, no way.
So Bob Carter, his son, plays baseball at Utah.
Yes.
By the way, go Utes.
Go
Oregon.
Utes.
Beat
Go
Oregon.
Utes. Fuck Oregon.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe he's an expert on soup, but he went like. Actually, I've got it right here. No, I don't. But he was very dominant. Won 3 titles at the NAIA level. 14-0, 13-1, 14-0, 15-0. Went 67-3.
Oh wow.
But it's Sioux Falls.
Yeah, still that's like at any level that's pretty impressive. But isn't it funny that everyone has just collectively decided we can make fun of Urban Meyer for faking health problems, like because you can't prove that.
No, you
can't prove that he's faking it. But everyone's just like, yeah, it's fake. Fuck him. Like it's like, Anyway,
so I like that he's won everywhere he's been.
Yes.
That tells me that he can run a program.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be different. The pressures are going to be different at Washington. The competition's going to be different at Washington.
Yeah.
And I know people will say, well, he beat UCLA this year. They almost beat Oregon.
Yeah.
But it's different, man. It's different when you got to face that every week versus twice a year.
Look at Urban Meyer set in week 2. I think he said it's like facing Alabama every week, and look how he's doing. By the way, Urban Meyer matched his loss total from Ohio State at Jacksonville already.
That was
9
quick.
losses. Yeah.
Wow.
He had a difference in wins was only 81. He was 83-9 versus 2-9. So, yeah.
I like that he's an offensive coach. I think it's tough. One thing that's tough about having a defensive head coach these days is, this is going to sound a little counterintuitive, but everybody wants offensive coaches, right?
Mm-hmm.
So getting a good one is not easy.
Getting one of the top ones, yeah.
But on the flip side, if you hire a defensive guy, they can't find a good OC because if you're a good OC, you're a head coach.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
So this is why even at Alabama, he's got a different OC every
year.
Now it's Alabama.
Who ends up being a head coach.
Yeah, it's Alabama, so yeah, he can go out and get a great OC.
Mm-hmm.
But he's having to replace that guy every damn year
because they go be a head coach.
Yeah,
like because they're one of the good OCs. Yeah. So it's obviously Tedford would be great. Do you know is DeBoer? Did he just like come up at Fresno and was that his first head coaching job?
So he, he had the Sioux Falls run.
Oh, that was DeBoer.
That was DeBoer.
I thought you were talking Tedford.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, no, we're good. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was DeBoer.
the Sioux Falls.
DeBoer was dominant at Sioux Falls. In the 2008 to 2000 whatever. And then I think from there he was an offensive coordinator at. I don't remember the order of these things, but he became the offensive coordinator at Indiana, another really tough place to win, and they were like number 2 in the conference in offense. So
shit. All right.
He's everywhere he's been has been good, but he ain't been here yet.
Yes.
So I'm optimistic. I think it could work, but we who knows? We don't know. There were people like me that had concerns about Chris Peterson, right? Mm-hmm. Boise State, great, amazing, but it's different at this level.
Different at the Power 5.
And he was able to do it, but it wore him out clearly because he wasn't here that long. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
The other thing about DeBoer is there's a lot of kind of play on words you can do with his name, like DeBoring, which could be really bad. If it goes well, you could say I'm a whore for DeBoer, or you could call him DeHore.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Apple Cup, Dickert versus DeBoner.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you can also call him DeBoner.
DeBoner, yeah. Just put an N right in there.
So Dickert versus DeBoner.
That's great.
That'd be great. Boy, who would have ever thought that neither Rollo or Jimmy Lake would coach an Apple Cup?
Even coach the Apple Cup. That's a good point.
They never even coached an Apple Cup.
Wow. Yeah. Even like going into the year, what are the odds that even one of them wasn't going to be on either of those teams? You know what I mean?
Absurd. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. What else do you got more for this team this shitty season?
No, we'll just see where it goes. This team, by the way, they sucked this year, but they have some young talent.
Yeah.
So they've had good. This last recruiting class not great. But they're going to have some sophomores, juniors, and seniors this year that are high level recruits. I think he can come in and, certainly win 8 games like that. That to me, that should be the low bar. We'll see what Vegas says, but
if a lot of that might depend on Sam Heward too.
Yeah, it depends on the offense and the quarterback, and now we'll see who he hires. Who's he going to bring in? Is he just going to bring his Fresno guys, or I've heard that he's going to have a good salary pool for assistant coaches. So
okay,
yeah, you got Tedford potentially, and then who does he bring in as a defensive coordinator?
Yeah,
that's going to be very important for him because he's not a defensive guy. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
wait. What?
House skill coming.
Yeah. Seriously. Oh my God. Is Kyler coming back?
He could. I don't know that he will. I would expect our top 2 corners to go, and I think they'll both be, first and second in the top 2 rounds in the draft.
NFL mock draft database has him like mid-3rd.
Yeah.
Peak rank is like mid-2nd.
Kyler is going to be a combine wonder.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He's been able to box jump fucking 5 feet since he was in like 6th grade. And that's not. I'm not exaggerating.
It's not an exaggeration.
He's been able. Like he was.
Yeah.
I watched him almost dunk in 6th grade.
Yeah.
And he was also 5'5".
Yeah. You guys were like the same height.
We were the same height. At the time. He could dunk almost. He could almost dunk. Yeah. And now he's like actually got good height, pretty good length, and he's blazing speed too.
Yeah. I don't know what his 40 time is for sure, but if he can run a good 40 time
or quickness at least, he's got the. He's got the jitters.
The athleticism is off the chart. So
Yeah.
my guess is he'll climb up there.
Yeah.
And at least into the second round. But who knows?
Yeah. All right. Do you have any last thoughts?
No. Go Dogs, come back.
Go Dogs.
Bring him back.
Go Hawks, I fucking guess. Bring him back. Fuck Howard Schultz.
Yeah.
Go Kraken.
Yeah.
Hey, go Mariners.
Go Mariners.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
We should talk about that.
Yeah.
Adam Frazier. Yeah, I got Adam Frazier for 2 minor leaguers, one of whom hits 100 and the other who I think had a good debut or something, but who cares? And then the pitcher by the way, he's from Toronto, the Blue Jays. He's not from
Robbie
Ray. Yeah, I told you he's from the Padres. I don't know why. But, got Robbie Ray on a 5-year, $115 million contract. We signed a fucking Cy Young winner.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's great.
That's incredible, and seeing... It eased the pain of seeing Marcus Semien and Corey Seager go to the Rangers.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Ugh, that's so
fuck.
crazy. Yeah.
And then we still got Chris Bryant and Trevor Story on the board. Javi Baez went to the Tigers. So just some real dog shit teams are signing some really good players. Like teams that are worse than the Mariners are signing these.
It's so wild,
What the fuck? It's just, it seems like, especially the Rangers have been following this model since A-Rod, just pay one guy your entire payroll and just see if a guy that plays one position and bats 1 out of 9 in the order can drag you to the playoffs, which doesn't happen in baseball. I'm excited. I'm excited because we're trying. We're trying to fucking win baseball games right now.
Yeah.
We're trying.
I know. We're actually trying.
We're trying.
Yeah. It's always going to be hard to sign offensive players here because I think Safeco is a fair park.
I don't know. I've just heard it's bad.
But
I don't
the
know.
rumors, like all the players think it's bad.
Okay.
If you look at stats, it's not that bad. But that's the narrative. So if you're gonna sign Chris Bryant, you're gonna probably have to pay significantly over market.
Okay.
Do it.
Okay.
I get so tired of.
Oh, so the owner of fucking Nintendo's pockets are gonna be a little lighter. He's gonna fucking notice.
I get so tired of, and I even said this to somebody on Facebook. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's a lot of money for that player." I'm like, "Why?" Like, that's really nice of you to think about Stanton's wallet.
There's no salary
What
cap.
do you care?
There's no salary cap.
What do you care? If it doesn't affect the price of beer, I don't care.
Yeah, and it won't. And it never does.
Because they just charge what they charge.
They charge what they charge, and it goes up anyway every year.
And they only charge more if the team is good.
Yeah.
And they're filling the stadium.
Yeah.
They don't charge more for beer when the team still sucks.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I don't understand people. Well, it's just going to cost us. It's not going to cost you anything.
Mm-mm.
Shut up.
Shut up. Shut up.
Yeah, I'm so tired of that.
You know what's funny? Speaking of prices of stuff, I just got a notification from SeatGeek that there's some pretty good deals on the Seahawks game next week.
Shocker.
Isn't that cool?
Wow.
Yeah. Awesome when SeatGeek is like, please buy these tickets to your biggest rival. It's against the Niners.
Yeah.
There's a great deal. Yeah, no one gives a fuck.
You'll be able to get in there for $12 if you buy them on Sunday morning.
Oh, dude, I might. I might just
we
show
might
up.
Have to.
I might just show up. Yeah.
But yeah, Hey, the Mariners are going for it. I expected. I kept hearing, oh, Mariners are in on this and in on that. I'm like, I don't. That sounds like typical. Hey, we tried.
Yeah.
But they actually are doing some stuff. We need another bat.
Mm-hmm.
So do what you got to do. Pay the guy, trade for a guy, do something. We need at least one more bat.
Yeah, and what's really nice about Frazier and also Toro, who he theoretically would be replacing, is they're both utility guys. Yeah. Like, if you absolutely fucking have to, you can toss Adam Frazier in the outfield or Toro. Yeah. I mean, wouldn't be great, but Frazier can play third, so can Toro. Toro can play second, so can Frazier. They can both probably play first if you need them to.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, man. It's exciting. It's exciting to have, like, not even necessarily hope, but just like you see a plan, you see progress.
Yeah.
You see actual steps being taken that don't involve being shitty for the purpose of draft picks.
Yeah.
Which, if it doesn't work in football, it absolutely does not work in baseball.
No, you should never do that in baseball.
Never. If you ever hear someone using, like a GM or an owner using that as an excuse, they're just trying to save money. Like, they're full of shit. It's not a strategy. It's not a viable strategy. You can't even trade for picks, so it's not. Yeah. Anyway.
The only time I disagreed with that was when the Mariners, like, they won 3 out of 4 at the end of the season, and then that put them in the number 2 spot where they got Dustin Ackley, and who was number 1? That SDSU guy. He's had some arm trouble.
Fucking Steven Strasburg. Yeah.
So that was one time when I'm like, yeah, you tank the last couple games. That's fine.
Yeah. No,
you don't tank for a whole season though. Never works.
You start tanking, like in football and in baseball. You start tanking when you know who you're gonna pick. Yeah. And you know what you need to do to get that pick. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even in the NBA, you shouldn't really do it because there's still a lottery. So, what happens if you go 10-72 and you get the 5th pick?
Yeah.
Like, that's fucked. That's horrible. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Do you got anything else regarding Seattle sports? We were literally outroing and went for an extra 10 minutes, but
no, again, excited about the Mariners. The Kraken are kicking some ass lately.
They are, yeah.
I was like, are they? A couple weeks ago, I was like, are they just gonna suck?
They might just suck, but
they're beating some good teams too. So
did lose to the Minnesota Wild twice, which I learned over Thanksgiving. Because I don't pay attention that much, but yeah, when now that football season is over and there's nothing else to ever watch, maybe I'll start watching Kraken games.
I'm definitely gonna watch more of it. I've watched I watched early. And I've watched little bits and pieces here and there, but I'm ready to they're at least going to be in Mariners mode where I have it on.
Yes.
Like I might not sit and watch every second.
Yeah.
But it'll be like half pay attention. If it's close at the end, I'll sit down and watch it.
Hockey is a pretty good listening sport too.
Yeah.
Because like weirdly enough, with sports that I know better than hockey, I can pick up more visually, but I don't know enough about hockey, so I can just hear, he's down the sideline, and like I don't even need to hear who has the puck, or like I just hear the action going on. Like I don't know if it's Geeky or whoever that has the puck. It's just some guy on the Kraken. Like I don't even need to know. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube shit. Follow us on Twitter at Mason Charles Coe at AaronCo29. Dad's got a book out called High Points on Amazon and Lulu.com. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving and happy holidays. I think Hanukkah's right now.
It is.
If you're celebrating Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. Other than that, peace out.
See ya.